I want to share some insights and lessons that I've learned after 4 weeks of using the GPU rig that I've built recently. But before I do that, why I built this GPU rig. I study abroad and rent in a small apartment, so I needed some very minimalistic way of running models, inference on models that require 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Given my background in system administration and network administration, I've been doing this work for about 20 years. I researched what will be the minimal requirements for a GPU rig like that. Then I put it together, and first of all, fast, power efficient, cheap. You can only choose two. That's the reality. So it's relatively fast, relatively cheap, but it's not very power efficient. I really should have chosen a less power hungry CPU. For instance, a Xeon E5 2650 V4. It's TDP around 100 watts, and it still runs the memory on 2400 megatransfer per second. Then, this part is not very important since it's the minimal build, but there's no expansion possible. There's just one PCI Express by 16 slot, so I cannot add more GPUs into this rig, and the case is too small for another water block. But if I were to build not very minimalistic rig, but still on a budget, I would choose another motherboard, still on X99 chipset. But there are boards that have two PCI Express by 16 slots spaced far enough to fit two GPUs. I probably would have gone with a board like that. It's around twice as expensive as the board that I'm using right now, but that and plus a bigger case would have allowed me to put two GPUs and two water blocks for them for the GPUs. And I was not paying attention during the build, but now looking back, I really should have put less thermal compound onto the CPU. I'm used to fairly large CPUs like Xeons, scalable Gen 2 Xeons that have very large area. So I kind of overdid it with the thermal compound on the CPU, but I put more than enough thermal compound on the GPU core. That was kind of intentional. So I wanted it to have as much surface covered with the thermal compound as possible, because this water block, this copper plate, it's all custom. It has its flaws, so I tried to solve this using more thermal compound, and it worked well. At full load, not quite full load, like 200 watts constant load, the thermals are the core is around 44 degrees Celsius with the room temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, and I removed the fine mesh between the case and the water block heat exchanger, so the airflow is good, and it gives me around 44 degrees constant temperature on the core. That's it.